evening. I'm Willie Wilson Jr., and with me for these election results 2025 are, to my right, Courtney Henderson, a political consultant, and Steve Thomasy, an educator at the Adult Learning Center here in Brockton, and I myself, a community educator. We're glad to be your host. I'm your host this evening, and we're glad to share information on this exciting time on the latest political results in the Brockton electoral process. Steve?
Yes, this is a little prefatory statement, but earlier today, someone saw me, I wasn't hiding, holding signs for candidates. I did it at 3 different sites today, and someone called the management and said that they thought it was not right that I'd be speaking at a show like this if I was openly supporting candidates. So it was suggested to me that I make a statement. This was largely written by the management. I have no objection because I totally agree with the sentiment expressed here. Just to be transparent, I have shown support for several candidates in Brockton's municipal elections this year and also in past elections, going back as far as 1987, as I recall. But my comments tonight will solely be focused on the election results and what they may mean for the Brockton community in the future. I'd just like to say one thing. In 1987, the first time that I held signs, we had moved here in 85, it was for Alan Pesovich. She was running for Ward 3 City Council. She was running against John McGarry, who did win. To this day, both Alan Pesovich and John McGarry are still close friends of mine, even though I supported one and not the other. That seems to be less and less the case these days. No one saw each other as enemies, so I think of that as a good example of the way it should work. So we will make comments about historical analogies, how this is like other races from the past, and make some comments about our opinions of why things are happening as they're unfolding before us.
Thank you,
Thank
Steve.
you. Courtney?
No, I have nothing. I'm excited, as always, to be back next to you guys, reporting to the community about who is going to be our next elected officials. So I'm just as anxious and excited as everyone else.
Good.
So where do we start?
Well, I'd say, in the absence of an active mayor's race in Boston, a lot of the Boston news has been focused on other communities. And one of the ones that's notable is Brockton. It's been mentioned on all the, the local news reports coming out of Boston. And it's because it's a historical moment. For the first time in the city of Brockton, a candidate who is not a white Anglo person is going to be the mayor of Brockton. So it is, a historical moment, and it's transformational. And because both candidates are people of color, it's, one of them's going to win. So that'll make things more interesting for us over time. So, that aspect has been decided already. The 2 candidates, as you're aware, come from 2 different communities. Moses Rodriguez, the Cape Verdean community. I have been reading up on the history of Cape Verdeans in southern New England, and it was somewhat surprising to me. I like the Whalers Museum, and I always associate it with Cape Verdean people with throwing the spears at the whales. But in fact, the first Cape Verdean people came in early 1900s, largely to Rhode Island as agricultural workers. So they have been here in southern, southeastern New England for a long period of time, and are a much longer and deeply established community than the Haitian community from which John Bradley comes. The largest numbers of Haitian people have come to the United States and to Brockton since the earthquake in 2010. I was reading today that estimates are up up to 300,000 people killed in that earthquake, and it's sort of a vague memory now, not for people from Haiti, but people started coming on the temporary protected status, and then as there's been almost complete societal breakdown in Haiti over the past, I don't know, 10 years, there's been more people coming, but they haven't been here as long. There's less entrenchment, say, in owning businesses and, you know, having longer established patterns of being citizens. So, you know, that is a little different. I had looked at some statistics in the latest census readings that I respect. It said 19% of the people in Brockton identify as Cape Verdean. If you're curious, it's 29% white people, which means 71% of the people are not white Anglos anymore, so that's been a transition. But they, by percentage, vote more regularly, right? And so we're not going to be able to tell tonight, but sometime there'll be an analysis of where did the white people go when there is no, you know, can't vote for Bob again, you know, where did the white people vote this time? We're not going to be able to tell that tonight, but that's something that you can look at in subsequent analysis.
I'm glad you mentioned that because there are 55 communities that are voting this evening in the Commonwealth. And because Mayor Wu is running non-contested, you know, all the media outlets so they've been parsed and assigned to several of the local communities, and that's one of the reasons what somebody had mentioned to me, why are we getting so much attention? And that's the reason why, you know. So those cameras, they're looking for stories, and you know, being the largest minority community in the Commonwealth, you know, we're the focus. Yeah. That's the mayoral, but we have several other candidates in terms of at-large and school committee, and so it promises to be quite interesting. Courtney, I was wondering your take on things.
Well, I do agree that this is a historical election, with us putting in the first immigrant mayor in the city of Brockton. I think, you know, as in my work that I do in the community, I think this brings a time of resilience and strength to the community, especially because it is a minority city. And I think with everything happening with ICE presence in Brockton, everything around scare tactics that are being used, this is a time that can reignite and strengthen the resiliency of those in our community. And so I look forward to that. And as I've said before, and the last time that we talked when we were covering the primaries, is that I love that everyone was matched up with an opponent, except for one person. But this is what a participation of democracy looks like. And I love seeing that. And I'm glad that we had quite a few candidates that are running for city council at large, because now we have a chance to remove incumbents and put other people in that might have fresh ideas, ready to, you know, tackle on the challenges that we've been experiencing in Brockton. So that's my take. I think we're going to see some new faces. I'm hoping, at least, that enter not only school committee but our city council.
I think I was encouraged as a former high school teacher. Some of the former students and students who weren't students of mine, but Brockton High graduates who've decided to get involved in the political process. And I'm thinking of Jeff Charnell and others who it's just nice to see them. I've gone to several different activities, and it's just nice to see that these students who are now adults giving back to the community.
Yeah, that must be cool.
And that's, as an educator, that's very rewarding.
There have to be 2 new councilors at large.
Right,
At least 2 out of the 4 that will get elected today, because both of the mayoral candidates were in the council. So we will get at least 2 new people there.
What I usually do too is I like to speak to, you know, I'm always doing fillers before the numbers come in. and I was looking at This Week in History, in U.S. history. And in November 8th, 1933, President Franklin Roosevelt created the Civil Works Administration, which was designed to create jobs and for more than 4 million unemployed during the Great Depression. And then on November 5th, 1940, President Roosevelt won an unprecedented third term in office as he defeated challenger Wendell L. Willkie. And so it's just, I'm gonna, I have a little of these things that happened this week,
Yeah.
going back in time, but I just wanted to reflect on that. And the last thing, because all three of us are teachers,
Yes.
for this segment, Thomas Paine actually, he had this quote, and I love it. Such is the irresistible nature of truth that all it asks and all it wants is the liberty of appearing. Such is the irresistible nature of truth that all it asks and all it wants is the liberty of appearing. And so, Thomas Paine, 1737 to 1809, all of us, well, particularly Steve and I, teaching U.S. history, he was just an enormous philosopher, educator, and born in England. Of course, he died here in the United States, but he is one of the founding fathers in terms
Yes.
of information. And the other thing is, it's so interesting as I was looking, he when he passed away, he died in Greenwich, New York City.
Yeah, and
Greenwich Village.
in poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah. A thing, since it's so-called filler time here, I've been thinking about, and I've been watching the excitement, the visible excitement in the Cape Verdean community for the last couple of weeks about the possibility of having one of their own, get elected in his own right as a thing. And it reminded me of other historical precedents, ones that I was thinking about today. The Irish Americans in Boston with Honey Fitz, James Fitzgerald, the grandfather of John Kennedy, for the Irish Americans, like taking back the community, or taking control of the community from the English, who had always sort of looked down on them. Fiorello LaGuardia, I'm from New York, and he's one of my favorites for all time, and first Italian-American mayor of New York, 1933. Harold Washington, the first black mayor of Chicago in 1983. And I looked it up today. The first Mexican-American mayor of Los Angeles was 2005. I forgot his name now. I wrote it down here. Sorry. Yeah, thank you. There's a brain cramp. Antonio Villagrosa, right? So these communities who have been somewhat on the outs, but have been growing in importance, in owning businesses and really being players in the community, finally symbolically
Perfect.
get a leadership. So, first round here. First time that we come
I
in.
believe this is
Yeah.
Ward 2.
No, this is for the mayor. So these are
Correct.
the earlier, you think this is Ward 2?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Ward 2. So John Bradley, 525, Moses, 898. Write-in 1, that was the person that wrote me in. Here you go. That's it. It would be wonderful to know what the write-in was. Ward 2 is actually heavily Cape Verdean ward, right? I've talked to people who live there, and I suggest maybe you should run for something. They say, no, it's pretty much dominated, and it has been.
Now, we have 7 wards and 28 precincts in the city. So
Yeah.
it's interesting when you look at I was just thinking in terms of a graph, but the layout, But you're right, it's interesting how the wards contain some of these very older established communities, And even though they've changed, there's still a percentage, and it's, it's going to be interesting to see what the data says when all the results are in, in terms of,
So, Counselor at Large.
Oh,
right?
here we are.
Do you know how many?
Yes,
boards
now
this
you want
is?
to read that,
Sure.
Courtney?
So we
Yeah.
have Win Farwell with 371 votes. David Texera, who's also the incumbent, is at 839. Jeff Charnell with 538. Carla DeRosa, 721. Matthew DeLisme, 198 votes. Edward Joseph Francois with 171. Judith Nelson with 274. And Michael Nunez with 381.
Okay. And
And
write-ins.
10 write-ins. Wow. Okay.
Wow, 10, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really.
Well, it's just that Win, who always wins, was fourth in that. So there have been, I don't, if there's any surprise, but the difference between 4 and 5 was a fair amount.
A
so
fair
it doesn't
amount.
look like he's in
And
particular
this
danger.
this is early, too.
Right, we're still early in.
We're still early.
Right, and you don't know exactly where those votes are coming
No, I
from,
don't know
did you?
where those were.
Yeah. So those, maybe the people at home can see those a little better than us, but they, they're showing,
The two incumbents.
yeah, the blocks,
Yeah.
the incumbents are there. So, oh no, wait a second, Michael Nunes has more votes than Win Farwell. Win Farwell is fifth.
Yeah, by 10.
Yeah, he's
10
fifth.
Oh, I mean, it's early.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting story in the Enterprise. If there was, I mean, that would be considered an upset.
Right.
The Michael is very affable guy.
Yeah.
If you know him, and he's clearly a young guy.
Yeah.
And the gap between he and the person right behind him, age-wise.
Yeah, it's
you know?
considerable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Wow.
Oh, okay, Ward 2. Here we are. Ward 2. Thank you,
Melise
gentlemen.
Vega. Now, you probably know her, right, Willie? She
Yes.
works at the library
Yes,
and
wonderful.
has been, she teaches language down at the library.
Right, yep.
And
Yes,
seems
yes.
very popular. And she's a member of the Cape Verdean community.
Yes.
But that's a giant gap. I mean,
Huge gap.
Maria Tavares is also obviously Cape Verdean person too. But that's a giant gap. That one surprises me. I did think this would be closer,
The only thing is, I think, in terms of as a campaign, as I've driven around the city and the two of you, in terms of marshaling people, what it takes to do a campaign.
There's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of volunteers.
But the
Yeah.
marshaling is a sort of a polite word. There's also something called vote harvesting,
Yeah.
where all your people can get, and it's legal, can get absentee ballots and then have a voting party
Yeah.
and then send them in. But,
But they all have to be verified.
Right.
right, but you can actually, because of the way, like if we get absentee ballots, we can sit at the table and talk about it and fill them out at the same time. That's not illegal. You don't have to vote privately. You can if you go to like today, but you don't have to under the new circumstances. So you can have sort of, if you have a large group, you can cooperatively
Yeah.
sort of
So
vote.
we have Ward 2 School Committee. Willie?
Yes, Claudia, let's see, DePina Gomes, 769. Cynthia D. McCall Hodges, 456, and the write-ins 3.
Yeah, well, Gomes is the incumbent. I believe he was or is a teacher, so that he does, I talked to him once at MLK breakfast, and, he was a teacher. It's interesting, that's Lady CJ, she does
Yeah,
The
yeah.
catering.
The
sort of thing.
catering and very involved African-American.
Oh, yeah, a very,
club.
and when she was running, I said, you're a businesswoman, you have had business dealings in the city, and a story of a woman trying to climb across all these various bureaucratic barriers and stuff. Why don't you run for counselor rather than school committee? It's she doesn't have any experience in schools, and her thought was that the Ward 2 counselor is just the support is just locked in. She thought she'd have a better shot there. That is a case of the incumbent,
Right.
Having that extra.
Right.
and
having that
also incumbent Cape Verdean in that particular ward.
ward,
Seems
yeah.
like big advantage.
So we should be getting Ward 3 pretty soon.
Ah.
So that should be exciting.
That's where I live.
You want to talk about the ward before the numbers come
tell a
up?
little bit about Ward 3.
Yeah, well, we have the same matchups in both school committee and city council
Perfect.
as we had last time. Here we go.
So this is Ward 3 of mayor.
This is Ward 3.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So we have Jean Bradley Durennecourt with 2,013 votes. Moses Rodriguez with 2,391 votes and 29 write-ins. Very kind of close.
Kind of close.
Yeah.
It depends on, where they come from. I like the numbers. I mean, one of the big stories tonight is maybe we won't find tonight, but
Maybe tomorrow.
the percentage of voters. In the primary, we had 10.26, which was higher actually than last 2 years ago. And so I'm thinking if we double this,
And that's what I'm hoping.
yes, if we double that, then that would be something of a triumph. Now, I was looking at those numbers. I was told today that in Ward 3, 1 and 3 have the greatest numbers of voters.
Right.
So we and you in 1 have approximately 10,000 voters. So far, it looked there that we're going to go, if this is early and there's more coming in, we're going to go over 5,000 voters in 3, which would be 50%, which is pretty good numbers generally anywhere these days.
Right.
In that Trump-Harris election, 61%, that's all, 61% of the eligible voters went out to vote. Trump got 32 and she got 29 or whatever. He clearly won, but he only got 32% of all the registered voters. So when you don't have turnout,
Yeah. Well, that's
it skews reality.
Well, we talk about this all the
We do.
time in terms of what is it to get people out.
I think we might see a bigger turnout. I don't think it's going to be much of a difference, but I think because this is such a historical election and we're getting the media coverage, I think we have the right recipe to get those voters engaged. And I can say, as an educator as well, I've had students tell me for the first time that they've registered to vote. So we actually have some more results coming in for counselor at large.
Ooh, very good. Winthrop Farwell at 1410. David Texera, 2151. Jeff Charnell, 1463. Carla DeRosa, 1781. Matthew Disloom, how do you pronounce his last
I
name?
think it's Delisme.
Delisme, yeah.
542. Joseph Edward Francois, 529. Judith Nelson, 877. And Michael Nunes, I'm just surprised.
He dropped off there, though.
He did
Yeah.
drop
He
off.
was ahead
He was.
of Wynn, and
in
now he's
that
not.
other.
Yeah. No, I mean, we still have to have this, come.
Yeah. I think that I'm not necessarily shocked, I think we kind of expected there to be this name recognition that people are going to use. And I think some people think that their votes are not going to matter because they think other voters are going to go with the people that people go off of, the name recognition. So it's unfortunate because there are opportunities where we could put new people in. We can't all think the same way, that our vote doesn't matter, or that we're going to be that one person that's going to vote a different way. But I'm not necessarily shocked.
I'm looking. I didn't see school committee yet.
Not yet, but we do have Ward 3 city councilor.
Close one.
So Philip Griffin with 976, Carrie Geith with 927, and then 7 write-ins.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a,
Excuse me.
that's a close race. I'm not surprised, but it's hard for me to tell, even living there, exactly where, votes are coming. Neither one of these candidates is a Cape Verdean or a Haitian person.
No.
I don't think that, one's a white guy and one's African American, but American African American. So I don't see that as being.
Oh, here's
factor
school
here's,
committee.
yeah, perfect
Anna
timing.
Oliver,
And
Wow, that is
971.
this was
very
a close
close.
one 2 years ago too. This is
Yeah.
very close 2 years ago.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Matt, I know, I see Matt Stanton all over
Yes.
the place. He lives close to me, and I spent good time holding signs with his wife today, who looked totally exhausted. But he has done, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of houses on foot.
He is definitely in the community.
Right. Anna, at least I have no evidence that that has been the case, but, she does have some backup, at the community.
Wow.
Right.
But that's a close
That's
one
very
there.
That is very
you
close.
know.
Very close.
That's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, oh, except if you're them.
Yeah, I can't imagine that being fun for them right now.
Although his wife just wants to go to bed now.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
Go to
exhausted,
sleep,
poor thing.
sleep it off tomorrow.
As someone who used to work
And
on
I'm-
campaigns,
oh,
it
yeah,
is
I'm-
exhausting.
I'm sure all the candidates, if they win, they can party and then justify
Yeah.
taking tomorrow off from work.
I would take off of work if I won.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so I think Ward 5 is coming, which is exciting.
Which is,
Who's?
so 5 is Thompson, Ellie, Teixeira. Yeah, Thompson.
Well, we have some results coming in
Oh, there-
from Ward 5, and
Here it
that's
is.
Jean
Oh, this
Bradley,
is
Dorena
from-
Court with 2,495. Moses Rodriguez has 2,873, and then 43 write-ins.
Wow.
Okay.
So we're getting,
Not too off.
You're right. This is sort of reflective of the last
Last
one we
one.
saw for the mayors. You only have to win by one vote, and so, if you count those, that's actually a fairly large gap.
That's a large gap.
Yeah.
Right, on that. When I remember when Linda Belzati lost to Carpenter, and I was in like the Hawaii Village or whatever that's called down on the South Main Street, and her campaign was over there acting as if they were winning. And I was watching the equivalent of this show at the bar, and I'm watching.
We have
Ooh.
some more. Steve, did you want to take this one?
Yeah, okay, so David Teixeira is in the lead, but second is Carla DeRosa, who's a new person to this campaign. Jeff Charnell and Wynn Farwell are pretty close. That's the top 4. And then the gap between the top 4 and number 5 and 6 has increased a little bit, right? So they would be the challengers, so to speak, Judith Nelson and Mike Nunes, but they're several hundred behind the people with the 24s,
Right.
So the gap has increased a little bit, but that's sort of the direction, right? So write-ins aren't blanks. They're not reporting.
No, those aren't blanks. Those
Right.
are names.
Those
that-
are actual
Yeah.
names.
Names that are
D-
wrong.
Is there a way of finding out
There
who the
is.
write-ins?
You can go to the elections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about blanks. It would be hard for them, I think, to record this
Yeah, you
thing,
probably couldn't.
but you could find this out later, because
Yeah.
how many people voted in one, say, mayor, but didn't vote for other offices?
Yeah.
How many people voted for, I know I voted for fewer than 4.
4.
Yeah.
For the thing, because I went and stared at it,
Yeah.
and I don't,
Well, we did the same thing. We, as a family, we were targeting you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And you talk about it beforehand. So, I mean, younger people can say, well, I can make a comeback,
Right.
you know, and
I hope they don't give up either. You know, I think it takes the momentum of the first campaign. You know, fill out the water,
Yeah.
get your name out there, build the community up, and make it a reciprocal relationship. Not you're just asking for votes, but actually build those relationships. And then I think by the second, third time, they would be in. I absolutely agree with that.
so we've only gotten results from two ward elections, ward councilors.
So far, yes.
That's 2 out of the 7. Well, surely AZAC is unopposed.
Correct.
Right.
I just find that distressing. I mean, if you live there, you could get 150 signatures. You could have your name on the ballot. You didn't even have to go out and campaign. The person is not opposed. You know, and the point of having elections is that there's some
Right.
opposition that you can vote for or against. I just found that distressing.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really have to put that much
Right.
effort in.
Ooh.
So Ward 5 City Councilor Jeff Thompson with 901 vote, and Ellie Texera with 857, and then 6 write-ins.
I mean, you can, you know, it's not a party election, but largely if you were trying to name 2 parties in this election, I would be saying there's kind of the establishment and the insurgency.
Yeah.
You know, that's not too tricky to come up with those. But, you know, and I find this would be a classic example, you know, of the establishment and an insurgency. The 2 of them have greatly different emphases in what they emphasize in their campaign. One of them is development, and the other one is social services.
Right.
Of those 2 people, and so they weren't like arguing over some narrow points. They were just heading in
Right.
different directions.
Oh, here's the Ward 5 School Committee. Sandra Maria Centeo, 1273.
Yeah.
Nolan Joseph Napier, 447, and the write-ins are at 11. Wow, what a gap.
That is a huge gap.
Yeah, I mean, this is accounted for. So let's see. My wife keeps on saying, "Don't say anything controversial tonight." But Sandra was recruited by the general Cape Verdean community to be the representative in this thing, and it's all sort of like vote for this person, and you get tickets. Not illegal. People do it all the time, but it's essentially like
Like a coalition almost?
yeah, like a coalition. And people are saying, well, you know, when you go to vote here, this person, and they're recruited by the top of that machine, so to speak. And that fellow, who I never had heard of until very recently, and I was very impressed when you hear him talk, but who knows, you know, who he is? Could you pick him out on?
Yeah.
I probably
You're
could.
right, and so they seem like very latecomers. I couldn't pick her out of a crowd either, but I know that I heard her name being associated with the other people in that group. They were recruited to run essentially as a ticket. Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Willie. You're both historians. Why is it that it's only 50 votes to get your name on the ballot in Brockton? Because in other communities that I've worked in, it's more than that. Why so low? Is it because of the voter turnout?
That's interesting, because you were absolutely right. In other communities, it's 150.
150, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why it's only 50.
I think ease of access. I mean, I'm sure that's what the argument was by whoever established that ease of access. And of course, you know,
I'm going to check that out.
yeah,
Well,
the-
this is a perfect segue to take a break, and then we can think about
Oh, break time. Oh, excellent.
why it's so
Oh.
low.
All right.
Alrighty.
Brockton Community Access isn't just TV. It's your platform to share stories, create change, and make an impact. From hosting your own program to learning media production, Brockton residents have the tools to inform, inspire, and entertain. No experience needed, just your voice and your vision. Getting involved means more visibility, more connections, and more opportunities to shape Brockton's future. Join the movement. Create, collaborate, and be heard. Take the first step today. Visit Brockton Community Access and start making an impact. Here are the top 5 reasons to engage with BCA TV today. Share your stories, opinions, and creative content on a platform that targets local viewers. Access free media resources to produce high-quality content. Training programs that empower you with valuable media skills. Live access to city council meetings and public affairs programming. Inform local audiences to build stronger community connections. Tell your story. Get involved today. Brockton Community Access isn't just TV. It's your platform to share stories, create change, and make an impact. From hosting your own program to learning media production, Brockton residents have the tools to inform, inspire, and entertain. No experience needed, just your voice and your vision. Getting involved means more visibility, more connections, and more opportunities to shape Brockton's future. Join the movement. Create, collaborate, and be heard. Take the first step today. Visit Brockton Community Access and start making an impact. Here are the top 5 reasons to engage with BCA TV today. Share your stories, opinions, and creative content on a platform that targets local viewers. Access free media resources to produce high-quality content. Training programs that empower you with valuable media skills. Live access to city council meetings and public affairs programming. Inform local audiences to build stronger community connections. Tell your story. Get involved today.
Welcome back. Again, we'd like to express to our listeners and viewers that we are experiencing some technical difficulties for the live stream, and hopefully that'll be corrected soon. So we are back, and we're going to get some more results. Let's pick up where we were chatting.
Yeah, so we were talking about 50 signatures to get on the ballot here in Brockton. Where in other municipalities that I've worked in, it's 150. And I was curious, is it because the voter turnout's so low in Brockton, therefore they're making the signature low?
I don't know. I'd like to investigate that.
I wonder about you can also ask the question, what
The rationale
the
was.
real differences between 50 and 150. Even 150 doesn't seem like it's a real barrier. So if you made it higher, is it because you're trying to create a barrier? And if you make it really low, is it because you're trying to remove a barrier? You know what I'm saying? It seems like you could make an argument
Either way.
either way that
right.
would be equally valid, because it's a matter of opinion, I think. You know, if you get 50, you're supposed to get 75 or 100. They always tell you that, because your opponent can, challenge it.
Also, the other thing is when you go for verification. So, ultimately there will be some that will be cashed out. They're just gonna, they're void. So, but that's a very good question.
I've never seen it. It was unheard to me that it was only 50. But I do like that it removes certain barriers for people. But I also think if you're running for office, you should have more than 50 people that would be willing to put you on. But we do have some more results coming in, pretty close. Jean Bradley Derinacourt with 5,312 votes.
Well,
Moses
he's ahead.
Rodriguez, yes.
Jean Bradley's
Yep.
ahead.
And then we have Moses Rodriguez with 5,306.
Now, what ward is this?
And
No, this is,
106 write-ins.
what is this? Where is this?
Is this total?
Yeah.
I am not quite
What are
sure.
we looking at? I mean, I would find it hard to believe. I mean, with that many votes, that would mean everybody in 3 who was registered. So if that was 3, so that has to be a cumulative amount. That's an important thing for us to know. Whoever's sending us these numbers, see if you can find that out. Is that the running total for the citywide?
So this was citywide.
Oh, yes, citywide.
Wow, citywide.
Yes, and we're getting
Very
that from the back
close.
room. Thank
Right.
Yes, we got confirmation.
you. Yes, thank you. Yes, yes.
Wow.
Now, my rough estimate,
Wow.
just based on
That is something.
That's very
some
close.
slight guessy work, is that the winner is going to have around 7,200.
Yeah, so here's the votes
tonight.
again.
Yeah,
Very close.
Wow.
Very close.
yeah. So I think we've got more to...
And when they're this close, of course, these aren't the final, but when they're this close, you know that the loser will contest,
Well, there's an automatic contest. If it's less than 0.5%, it's an automatic recount. So this is less than 0.5%, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4
you're right.
votes.
Yeah.
On that. Wow.
Wow. Well,
Gee, wow. What's this?
Well, I'll tell you, makes it more interesting for us,
It
and for
does.
anybody watching this, and scarier for the camps themselves.
Oh, I know it, yeah.
Ooh.
now,
Yeah.
what's the protocol? Oh, we have some more coming in. Counselor at large.
Ooh, oh, my goodness gracious.
Wow.
Look at that.
So-
We're looking at the top.
Yeah, so David Texera
David
with the
Texera,
top.
6,095. And I was thinking if, and then we just go in terms of the second would be
Carla DeRosa,
Carla DeRosa.
followed by Win Farwell.
4,855. Win Farwell third,
then Jeff Charnell.
4,640. And then Jeff, 4,364. Again, speaking about Jeff, I remember him as a young man at Brockton High School, and good football player, good student. Then went into business, went to college. Just he's one of those people that I've seen go right up, and I think it would be really a blessing.
Well, I've seen him at 2 events. I never knew who he was.
So here we have Ward 1 City Councilor.
This is yours, Willie.
Yeah, Marlon Green.
Finally.
With 1,031 votes, and Ulysses Varela with 1,024, and then 4 write-ins. Also a very, very close.
Very close race. Ulysses, again, grew up in the city, Brockton High graduate, and Marlon, very involved.
Yep.
As you know, Marlon lived in another ward
Yeah, he
and then
lived
moved.
a couple blocks away from me in Ward 3, yeah.
And then moved to Ward 1.
Ward 1.
I
And,
think-
this is the definition of perennial candidate. He has run in both wards, and
Right.
he has run a number of times. And this time he broke through into the final 2. Other times he was not. one
And
of the final 2.
correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think he bought Mo Hancock's former home,
Oh,
didn't
perfect. We have some more votes coming in.
Okay.
Ward 1 School
he?
Committee.
Ooh.
Stephen Pina with 1,132.
Oh, my
And Jorge
goodness.
Vega with 886, and then 5 write-ins.
Ooh.
This has been you've seen the debates. This has
Yeah.
been a real critical.
Yeah, I've watched this now. Jorge is pretty popular in the Adult Learning Center because we feel that he's one of the few counselors who has real sympathy for us. And if he doesn't win, people at the Adult Learning Center, at least a narrow group, will be unhappy. Because we don't have that many allies on the school committee. And I've watched some of this. Steve Pina, who I didn't know, is really pretty articulate. And he makes strong arguments passionately for positions. But I didn't see him do crazy talk. You were saying that he has some allies of, like the Mothers for Freedom or something,
And
whatever.
Liberty, yeah, the Brothers of Liberty.
That
and
kind
some
of thing, but he doesn't mention that in his
Well,
debates.
people like that don't usually do that.
No, I'm just saying he isn't introducing their themes.
Yeah, right.
I didn't hear him call for like suppression of certain books in libraries or any of that kind of stuff. So I remember the first time I saw him, I said, "Hey, this guy's pretty good." And then I found out he was running against Jorge, and I thought, "Oh, I hate to see Jorge lose
Yeah.
because he does care about us in the
But
learning center."
it's not only that in terms of the learning center, but his as an educator.
Oh, wow. So Ward 4 City Council, Susan Nicastro with 1,080, and then Tony Branch with 583, and then 11 write-ins.
This is not surprising. She's the incumbent and is pretty well known for being responsive to her
Yeah,
constituents.
she was very responsive.
Very responsive.
Right, and so, and frankly, my wife and I know her and her husband personally, but if I want a question answered about like policy, like what's going on in the fairgrounds or something, I'll go and she'll
And
tell
she'll get
me
back to you.
something. Yeah, and she's particularly good, having been a like real estate lawyer.
Yeah.
She knows stuff about the building and
Right.
that sort of thing.
And she's very responsive. Her husband was one of my former students.
Always,
Yeah.
see, like half the city.
Oh, wow.
I
Ward
was with
4,
Kelly Hanlon today, and she told
Ward
me the
4
same thing.
School Committee, we have Tony Rodriguez with 903 votes, and then Maria De Vega with 801 with 14 write-ins.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Another incumbent. Yeah.
If the opposite reaction at the Learning Center to Tony Rodriguez, I have went to like an event for Maria De Vega, and she seems good, but she's not like a powerful speaker at all. She's not like really good on the stump. But this is relatively close.
That's still
You
a
know,
good showing, yeah.
because he's sort of like a really big player in that organization, you know.
Wow.
I just wonder about the write-ins. I'd love to see who they
I would love to see the writings too.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too, me too.
Linda McMahon.
Now you're gonna make me go,
Secretary of the
you're gonna make me go to City Hall
Yeah,
just
right.
to see him.
And see who it is. No, it's just curious, you know.
I mean,
Al
it's all
Gore's
part of
still alive.
civic engagement. It's also looking to see, you know, what other people were thinking.
I'm starting to get a little excited because the numbers seem pretty good relative to what you think. I mean, I don't know. Will the guy who wins get 7,200 votes? That's been higher than that. I think Bob Sullivan got 5,800 in the last election when he won. And, you know, and I
It
was,
would be nice.
I was hoping for that.
It would be nice to see that.
You know, one of the things that I'm concerned about, and it's always been it's just a thing with me, all the candidates who've run, I wish there was a way of distilling some of their ideas, the ones who haven't won. So, because the winners, they've won, but there are good ideas from these
Oh, here we
candidates who
go.
haven't made
Ward 5, Jeffrey Thompson with 901, and then Ellie Texera with 857
it.
votes.
Wow.
Right. Not a final. It's still like
Yep.
close enough. You know, that's 44 votes.
But you know what's happening. The precincts are coming in.
Right.
So like we're we're far from totals.
Right. We
But-
Yeah,
don't-
I think
they
we're
have a
just
system-
missing Ward 7, I believe.
Yeah.
They what?
I think we're missing just Ward 7.
Is
Oh,
that
but
it?
that's surely unopposed.
Right, but I'm saying.
Oh,
we-
there has to be a number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her name had to be on the ballot. You know, she needed one vote, but her own, but her name. So you can see, maybe it's like a protest vote. You know. No, but I mean, say there were 100 write-ins.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing. Somebody.
Yeah.
would
I just think like you that there's no excuse.
Yeah,
You know.
perfect.
It's
Ward
not
6,
speaking against
we
it.
have John Lally, who's the incumbent with 1,216 votes, and then Lisa Crowley with 663, and then 5 write-ins.
Jack Lally last time and the time before was the leading vote getter
Yes, he
of
was.
the city councilors,
Right.
ward councilors.
Right.
Right. Yeah, he'll finish with possibly 13, but close enough to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I do think it's a tribute to if you have the same people vote for you over and over again. He does talk to people.
Yeah. He
in
gets out
his-
there.
In his ward, you know, people know who he is, and he talks to them personally and goes to the door things.
And I can remember
We
him
have
as a student
Ward
too.
6. Billy, did you want to tackle this one?
Yes, Joyce J. Asack. Finally, yep. 1217, and Lucibel Daisy Delgado 578. And 6 write-ins.
Yeah, pretty big gap. Now, do you know Lucibel?
Better.
Okay.
Saw her at an event. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't know her.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Do you know her?
no, not in the slightest. There was no primary,
Right.
so you couldn't get
Right.
any like preliminary test of strength. So you have no idea. I don't.
Here we go.
Oh,
Now you
Shirley.
can see your protest.
23. All right. Oh, that's more vote. Yeah, that's more vote than Jack's got. But you know, if nobody's running against you, that's not such a great.
And initially, there was somebody that was going
Was
to
there?
run it, and then, and I can't remember the person.
Oh yeah.
And then, because I remember having a conversation with her.
Oh, wow.
This
Yeah, Ward 7.
is very interesting.
Timothy Sullivan, 869, and then Jimmy Pereira with 576.
Yeah.
And then 6 write-ins.
This
Wow.
this is I very interesting. Both Tim and Judy were on like social media and stuff pilloried as the old white obstructionist people. And I think Judy was sort of forced out, and Tim basically hung in, you know, and again, you know, like at the Learning Center, he's been supportive, so he does have friends there.
And he gets to events.
Yeah.
You know, he goes. He's
Oh,
very
yeah.
supportive.
Yeah,
This
I
is the
didn't
other
really
thing.
see Jimmy Pereira so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. That's significant.
That is significant, yeah.
that really is pretty interesting. I didn't expect that. I thought maybe a lot of people were saying, geez, the guy's old and kind of crumply, and, you know, maybe his time is done, and that came.
Wow.
you
So
know.
we have some exciting news coming up.
Ooh.
These are final results.
Of the whole election?
Oh my
Yes.
goodness gracious!
Wow.
Wow.
Of the whole,
Yep,
that's
so
it.
These are final. So Gene Bradley with 6,420, Moses Rodriguez with 6,470, with 112 in write-ins.
Can you imagine if this?
Wow, that was a huge turnaround. Well, not a huge turnaround, because it's still a very close gap, but
Oh, no, but I mean, this is the thing, like, what are those 112? I mean, this isn't like a position where you don't know what they do.
right.
Now that's an automatic recount, right?
No, that's not within 1/2 of 1%.
So
It's a 50.
Gene would have to request, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's not an automatic recount. I think you have to show some cause if it's not an automatic recount. But
Wow.
what about those 112 people?
Yeah. If they had, yeah, see?
No, but voted for somebody.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, how can you go?
We have final here for
Oh,
Council at
okay,
Large.
here we are. Okay, now let me see. So these would be the four. So what are the four that are in? David Texera.
Yep. Win Farwell.
Yeah. Carla. Wow,
Yep.
look at Carla. Second.
And then Jeff Charnel.
Oh, those
So the
four.
whole
Yeah,
row, I
yeah.
mean, the column.
Yeah, yeah.
going
down. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So there's Carla and Jeff. Those are the two new.
Yeah, those are two new.
So,
But you were going to get, you know, anyway.
Yeah.
We were going to get two new ones.
so this means that David Teixeira was the top vote getter
Yeah.
in the entire city.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And again, the love and admiration for him from every sector. African American, Cape Verdean,
Really? Yeah.
Hispanic. A very good friend to establish a scholarship for adult learning center students. Consistent, you know, so I'm not surprised there.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Oh, that was so quick.
right. Well,
All of a sudden-
congratulations.
Wait, we
to-
got everything? No, we don't have everything.
What are you looking for?
No,
Oh,
did
school
we get a
committee.
final for Jeff Thompson and Ellie Teixeira? Do we get finals on all of the other races? I
No,
don't
not
believe
yet.
that.
Oh,
we received everything, but I think now it's time to congratulate those who.
So we did get final numbers for all of
Yep.
those.
Here we go again for
Okay,
those
good,
who
good.
may have missed it.
So this is final
Yep,
numbers.
these are finals.
Marlon is now a city councilor.
No, that's not the automatic recount. What percentage did you
One
say?
half of 1%.
That doesn't make it.
Right.
I didn't.
Well,
I don't know. If
let's
six-
get. Yeah, we should
Yeah.
probably kind of go through and kind of recap what we've seen here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ward 1 school. So we got Ward 1 city councilor, Ward 1
Stephen
school
P-
committee, Stephen Pina.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So the incumbent. And
The
Jorge was so
incumbents.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, the challengers won in each of those two. Oh, that's right, there is no
Then
incumbent in
Maria
the other.
Tavares got Ward 2 city councilor. She keeps her seat as Ward 2.
Yeah,
Yep. Claudio Gomes, also the incumbent for Ward 2 school committee. He's kept his. This was also close, but Philip Griffin has also kept his seat as the incumbent
right.
for Ward 3.
Anna.
Also very close, but
Very
Anna-
close.
Very
Wow.
close,
Very
yeah.
close.
Yes, so the
Gosh.
incumbent has kept her seat
I
for
think it
Ward
was
3.
8 last time.
Jeez.
Susan Castro, which we figured also the incumbent.
Right.
Tony Rodriguez
Uh-huh.
for Ward 4. Jeffrey Thompson,
Right.
also the incumbent, keeps his seat again. Yep. Sandra Centeo.
Wow.
Wow, very, very wide range, but yeah, very great. John Lally,
Yeah, we
the
saw
incumbent. Yep. Joyce Azak for Ward 6 School Committee, also the incumbent, returns again.
that. 7 unopposed.
Yep, unopposed. Timothy Sullivan, Ward 7 School Committee,
Yeah.
comes back again.
And that's it.
That is it. We've covered everything.
Wow.
Well, congratulations
To all of the-
Yeah.
our
There wasn't anything there that you could characterize as an upset victory, right? I mean, there were no like big surprises
No.
like that.
No, not quite.
In the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I was
yeah.
always
Again-
rooting for some sort of
Right.
upset, you know,
Right.
something that we could go, ooh,
Well,
and ah."
that
Well,
This- yeah.
on behalf of the BCA
Yes.
staff, and again, our guests,
Yep.
Courtney Henderson, Steve Thomasy, Willie Wilson Jr., thank you for joining us with these
And
results.
I do want to say, just to say, that this was so well done by the staff
Yes,
here today.
absolutely.
Thank you,
Made it
yes.
so easy
Always
for us.
professional.
Always.
Yeah.
It makes us look good because we get feedback from the community that they like the show.
Well, yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
And good night.